really do like my coffee in the morning. But I'm kind of puzzled why I made tea this morning, so. We just got one of those Keurig things, and they all look the same. And the tea happens to be brown, just like the coffee things we got. So I guess that explains a few things. I noticed that one song that you did you select those songs ahead of time? It had a lot of references to deer in it. I don't know, what can I say? There once was a very wise man, but unfortunately he's not here today. Anyway, getting on with things as we go along, this and that and the other. Yesterday was Friday the 13th. And of course, you know what that means. All kind of bad and spooky stuff is supposed to happen. Booga booga booga.
What's in that cup?
Actually, I put some coffee in it, so now it's coffee. My wife went out to start the car and to go pick up a red box movie, and it wouldn't start. It must be that Friday the 13th thing. Humans can be kind of funny, you know. Sports, for instance, is full of superstitions. Brian Urlacher, you remember him from the, was it Comcast commercials he was doing? Or anyway, he eats 2 chocolate chip cookies right before each game. Larry Walker wore the number 33 for his whole career. He got a phone number with as many threes as possible. He only woke up at 33 minutes past each hour. And he married on November 3rd at 3:33 p.m. Some pitchers never wash their hats. Patrick Roy, a hockey goalie, would talk to his goalposts during a game because he said, "They are my friends." John Henderson, a great big 350-pound football player, likes to be slapped across the face really hard right before a game. Perhaps these rituals and superstitions seem strange to us, but they really are not any weirder than what some of us do. But I won't mention names. So is Friday the 13th a day when you expect bad luck? Is it a time to indulge in superstitious behavior just in case it might protect you from bad things that could happen? Or is it an excuse to turn your mind toward unhealthy themes that run through our popular culture? Or can it be an occasion to reflect on the true facts behind man-made myths and legends, like we are doing today? Did you know that millions of Americans are superstitious enough about that day that business analysts have documented Friday the 13th related declines in business? It's been estimated that in this land alone, as much as $900 million is lost every Friday the 13th. There are people that will not fly or do business as they would normally do. said some overpaid research analyst. I do give credit where it's due. To the entertainment industry and millions of moviegoers, Friday the 13th is a good day to release horror and slasher flicks. The Apostle Paul had in mind in Philippians 4:8 something a little different. Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. Too often, movies like this turn viewers' attention away from the true Christian values and the simple message of Jesus Christ, in whom we should be focusing. Wherever did this idea that Friday the 13th is a time of bad luck and evil? The number 13 has been the subject of superstition and fear for thousands of years. The Code of Hammurabi, a set of Babylonian laws commonly dated to the 18th century BC, includes a 12th law and a 14th law, but no 13th law. The ancient origin of this superstition is obscure, but to this day, hotels, office buildings, airport departure gates, and many other public places go out of their way to avoid using the number 13. Of course, if you are truly superstitious, you will quickly figure out that the floor, room, or gate numbered 14 is actually the 13th floor. In fact, our local highly religious community of Linden, Washington, has no 13th Street. Instead, it is BC Avenue. But what about the origin of the Friday part of this superstition? Well, compared to the millennia-old fear of 13, widespread fear of Friday the 13th appears to be much more recent. This was especially popularized in 1907, when Boston stockbroker Thomas Lawson published a book titled Friday the 13th, the story of a venal businessman's attempt to crash the stock market on the bad luck day of the month. How did Wall Street react? Well, the book sold well, and in 1916, it was turned into a feature-length silent film. Since then, people have looked back into history to find examples and facts that seem to justify their fears of Friday the 13th. It is said that on Friday, October 13, 07, King Philip of France tortured several hundred monks until they confessed to various heretical beliefs. Certainly, as on any other day, tragic events have occurred on Friday the 13th. On July 13, 1951, floodwaters crested in many parts of Kansas during the Great Flood that ravaged more than 2 million acres of land and caused more than $750 million in damage. On March 13, 1992 earthquake in Turkey killed 2,000 and left 50,000 people homeless. Few today remember Charles Ponzi, creator of the Ponzi scheme fraud. He was sent to jail on a Friday the 13th. Fearful and superstitious people have suggested many other events as evidence of Friday the 13th bad luck. Some even mistakenly assume that Jesus Christ was crucified on a Friday the 13th. A 2008 study found that when the 13th of the month falls on a Friday, that day is actually safer than other Fridays. People are more careful or just stay at home. So statistically speaking, driving is a little bit safer on Friday the 13th, according to some egghead who participated in the study. And today we have a shining example that Friday the 13th really isn't anything to be afraid of, because Darlene and Michael's deer incident occurred on Saturday the 14th. So any day is just as likely to be as bad as the day before, or as good, you know. So there is no reason for Christians or anyone to fear Friday the 13th or to believe in any of these other ridiculous superstitions. So if you can remember that far back, I started this sermon out by speaking about how our car was dead on Friday the 13th. Well, it was dead because me or my wife left the overhead reading lights on. Nothing mysterious there, is there? No evil, no gremlins, or any of that mumbo jumbo. So look, these superstitions are just another tool that evil uses to take your focus off of Christ, where it really ought to be. So brothers and sisters, keep your eyes on the prize. Keep them on Jesus. Worship individual.